of State. In a new Iowa poll, just 37% say Clinton is their first choice. Sanders received 30% in that poll. Still, the Iowa caucuses are 6 months away, but I want to bring in Christy Setzer, New Heights Communications president, Deneen Borelli, Conservative Review chief political correspondent, and that is Jim Kreindler. Jim, what's the name of your firm?
Kreindler and Kreindler.
Oh, well, I should have known that, shouldn't I?
Can't forget that.
Christy, to you first. What do you make of this poll?
Well, it's not great for Hillary Clinton, but I will tell you this. We essentially nominated Hillary Clinton as our presumptive nominee 3 years before the election. It would be extremely unusual for Hillary Clinton, or pretty much any presidential candidate, to be able to maintain that frontrunner position for all 3 years, month after month after month. What we tend to like instead, this is Republicans and Democrats, is somebody who has late momentum. Maybe that's Bernie Sanders. Maybe it's someone who hasn't even gotten in yet. But so in some ways, it shouldn't be that surprising.
Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. But it seems, Deneen, it seems like there's a whiff of desperation in the language that you see Hillary Clinton using on the campaign trail. I point to comparing the GOP candidates to terrorists related to women's issues last week. Do you expect to see more of that?
Oh, sure. There's going to be more mudslinging, and there is a sign of desperation. Listen, you've got Hillary. Individuals know that this is the year of the anti-establishment politicians, whether you're on the right or the left. You've got Hillary and the political class who just assumed she was going to be coordinated and be a cakewalk for her. She's got the money, the name, the power, the influence. But what they left out are the scandals, endless scandals, one after the other. We don't know which shoe is going to drop next.
Hey, Jim, Joe Biden, let's assume that Joe gets in the race. Does he have a shot at winning the nomination, you think?
Sure. Joe would be a great president. What he's done is, as vice president, only makes him even more qualified. And if Hillary wasn't in the race, he would probably be the front runner. From my point of view, the email scandal stuff is not going away.
Do you think that Biden has enough of the anti-establishment populist momentum behind him to be able to run and take the energy away from a Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Joe is very authentic. He's very real. He's very spontaneous. And I think the public gets it. I think he'd be very, very compelling if he decides to run.
Speaking of spontaneity, let's talk about Donald Trump. You can't go 5 minutes on television these days without talking about him. Donald Trump dropping hints over the weekend over his decision on whether he will or won't consider running as an independent if he fails to secure the GOP nomination. Here's a quote from him. In terms of victory, running as a Republican would certainly be the best path to victory. We're going to make a decision very soon, and I think a lot of people are going to be very happy. That seems to suggest, Deneen, he's got to decide by September 30th that he will run,
sure,
that he will make the commitment to run as a Republican.
Yeah, Donald Trump doesn't like to lose. He's a billionaire. He doesn't like to waste his money. And so if he were to run on a third ticket, that would definitely just hand the win over to the Democrats. And so he doesn't want to go down as someone who was part of the fundamental transformation of America. I don't think he will do it. Of course, this is politics. You never know what will happen. But based on what I just mentioned, I don't think he would do it.
The other GOP candidates are struggling with this. You had allegedly Jeb Bush calling Trump a jerk at a fundraiser out in the Hamptons over the weekend. You have an article in the Washington Post about Scott Walker losing major momentum. Jim?
Yeah. Well, it's getting to be like mud wrestling on the Republican side. And I think there's a great opportunity for Joe because of that. He's real, but he's experienced.
Right.
It's not a game show with him.
And Christy, I'm going to give you the final word on that, on Joe or whomever you would like to mention before we go to break.
I want to talk about Jeb. I just want to say that he's facing a similar situation as Hillary Clinton in some ways. In 2012, we assumed it would be Hillary Clinton versus Jeb Bush. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think the American people at sometimes would rather see Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble run for the presidency than a Clinton and a Bush, but that's my opinion. Thank you guys so much. Deneen Borelli, Christy Setzer, and Jim Kreindler. Thanks to all this morning. Coming up.